Hi, I'm Danny Lipford.
And I'm Chelsea Lipford-Wolf.
Thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube. And don't forget to leave us a like and a comment.
And be sure to share with a friend, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you get notified of new videos.
Thanks and enjoy the show.
This week on Today's Homeowner, we're turning trash into treasure with some simple projects that are both easy and cheap.
Well, somebody didn't really know what they were doing. Well, but I don't have improvement geniuses like you.
One thing that Chelsea and I love to do together is to take something that a lot of people would consider trash and turn it into treasure. Chelsea and I are on our way to look at an old desk to see if it might work for her home office.
So where did this desk come from?
I don't even know. We've just had it. I've had it for probably 10 years or so in this shed over here. When's the last time you've been over in this shed?
Probably 11 years ago. Wow, it is pretty sturdy.
You think you'd want it?
Sure, let's load her up. Cobwebs are grossing me out. Are we clear?
All right. See anything else you want?
No.
Back at Chelsea's house, we unload the desk so that we can go to work.
You need to keep your junk in better shape. This is really dirty.
Man, it's been in there. I'm surprised it's even this good. Look at all this. Look at the detail on all that.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Can you read it?
Finch Fine Furniture.
Finch
Yeah.
Fine Furniture. This could be worth thousands of dollars.
Ooh. Figured you were working. While you're working, I'd look it up.
Okay.
Ooh, let's see. Antique dining room set for $5,500.
Whoa. Maybe I need to reconsider giving up this old desk. So, what do you think now? What do you think as far as the finish? You had something in mind?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of like stained wood tops and painted bottoms.
But first, we need to check with the current tenant about a color selection. Upside down.
Spiders! Oh, I'm in the corner! I'm in the corner! Oh!
Look up in here.
Dad, no. Gross, gross, gross. Take care of it, and I'll be over here.
We'll suck him up in the back.
Giant heebie-jeebies.
Now that he's evicted, it's back to work. Come on, help me clean this thing.
I just want to paint it, Dad.
Well, help, we gotta clean it, come on.
I don't want to touch the bugs.
I've already got all the bugs are all gone
Yeah,
now.
we the last time.
All gone.
Do I just cover the blocks?
Oh,
Stop!
I was just kidding.
I'm gonna quit.
I was just kidding.
I'm gonna leave you out here by yourself.
Eventually, the crisis passes and we can complete the minor repairs to the trim around the base of the desk with some wood glue and a few finishing nails. We're going to be painting the lower side of this, so we'll easily be able to caulk and fill these little cracks. But if you were staining, you wouldn't be able to use caulk. You'd really need to replace that piece of trim before you restained it. So we're lucky that we're going to be able to paint it. And that's our next step, is to go ahead and get ready for the painting with a little bit of sanding after the glue dries. We're using 120 grit sandpaper and double-aught steel wool to prep the paint areas. On top of the desk, we'll be restaining the surface, so we're taking it all the way down to bare wood. This is a little more the payoff. All this prepping puts me in a bad mood, so so this will lighten things up a little bit. So let's try it out.
Or darken it, because
Yeah,
it's
darken
such
it
a
up.
dark stain.
That's perfect color.
Ooh, I like it.
While Chelsea works on that, I'm soaking the hardware in brass cleaner to remove the tarnish. I'll get down here and do the things that require a little skill.
Oh my gosh, please.
While the stain and caulk dry, we check on the hardware that's been soaking in brass cleaner. Now that's pretty amazing, with putting the brass cleaner in there for just a little while and then a little bit of rubbing with this dry cloth. This really does look good, but it won't look good like this for very long unless we apply a clear coat, like a lacquer finish on it. So after this dries well, we'll spray a little bit of lacquer on it, let it dry, then when it goes back on, it'll look like this for a long time. Next, it's time to mix up Chelsea's recipe for chalk paint.
Just a little plaster Paris, water, and paint.
My daughter doesn't think much of my painting skills, so I'm painting the drawers while she paints the desk. With the chalk paint complete, we can call it a day.
Now, even though it's dry to the touch, you'll still need to let this stain dry for a few more hours before you put the first coat of varnish on
Okay.
it. So if you can sneak out here and do that tonight, put the second coat of chalk paint on, then we can put hardware on tomorrow and put this thing right in place.
Awesome,
What do you
I'm
think?
excited. It looks
good,
great
huh?
already.
Yeah, a lot better than it did this morning.
Yeah.
The chalk paint dries so quickly, it's ready for a second coat even before Chelsea applies the first coat of semi-gloss sealer. After drying overnight, she lightly sands it and applies the second coat and then installs the hardware.
So now what do you think about it?
Man, I think that looks great. I can't believe the hardware turned out that nice.
I like it a lot.
So it's all nice and dry, huh?
Yep, let's
All
move it
right,
in.
let's get it inside there.
Here at Simple Solutions, we're always looking for creative ways to increase kitchen storage. In this case, we're going to be storing foil and plastic wrap and plastic bags, things that you use all the time but are typically buried in a drawer. I took a plastic storage bin and I used a jigsaw with a metal cutting blade and I cut off one end. And I'm going to mount it to the inside of this door, and then we'll be able to use it for storing the foil and other items. I've made these marks earlier, and I'm just going to attach it with a couple of 1/2-inch screws. I'm going to put 2 on each side. And you want to make sure the screws aren't too long because you don't want them poking through the other side of the door. Put 2 on this side. I'll put 2 more on this side. There you go. Now we can just slip the boxes right in there. It's perfect for any tall, narrow box. So they're easily accessible. You can just store them out of the way.
This week, we're turning trash to treasure. My daughter Chelsea and I have just given new life to an old cobweb-covered desk, and now Alan and I are about to explore the fascinating world of pallets.
I don't know, Alan, about these pallets and building projects out of it. It seems like everybody's doing it.
Well, I've seen a couple of projects, and they're not impressive to me because it still looks like a pallet on a cinder block.
Yeah, I know
you
they can be a little bit rough and that type of thing, but I see so much stuff online that you can build. Why don't we give it a try? Give it a shot. You grab a pallet, I grab a pallet, we'll go online, find something that'll work.
Works for me.
So we begin our online search for worthy pallet projects. After a few misfires,
Click here for full resolution. I think I've seen it.
I've seen all I need to. Oh, you're kidding. Do you see that?
What's that?
A rickshaw out of a pallet.
Yeah, put the kids on there.
Oh, yeah.
Strap down the car seat. Let's go.
we find some interesting possibilities.
Well, they actually stained that, didn't they?
Yeah. You know, I actually kind of like that. I like this one, though. Let's see, that's a possibility.
How about something like a garden like that?
I like that.
So Alan will use his pallet to build a wine rack, and mine will become an herb garden. The big challenge with pallet projects is figuring out what to keep and what to get rid of.
I would cut that, and then I would leave that piece in there.
Yeah, except I'm using this end, not that end.
I know, but I'm saying cut this, throw this away.
Well, I'm cutting it here, actually, because this is what I'm going to use here, this part.
With it cut in like that?
Yeah, see on the picture? You've got the little indentation. That's actually the back side of the pallet.
Fine then. Fine. I'll just be over
Go-
here. I'll be
go
over
over
here. Even though you have 2 wider boards with the spacing here, if I take these out right here,
Right.
then that's fine. So I've got that.
So you're going to use this much on here, and then come up here and do it to
Shift
here.
it over here.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Cutting can also be tricky because you're not working with raw lumber. You're working with a structure that's already nailed together.
I'm done with my project. How's yours coming?
In most cases, very well nailed together.
Watch your leg.
Don't crack it.
Any more where this came from?
It took me that long to get that piece.
There you go.
Alan's marking that piece to the width he needs for the bottom of his wine rack.
You're lucky I'm cutting this down a bit.
I have to remove a lot more boards than I need, so I can be a little more ruthless with removal.
You see, I broke out the planer. Normally, you probably wouldn't do this on a pallet project, but since I have wine bottles sitting on this, I want a really flat, level surface for them.
Once that piece is planed, Alan tacks it in position and then adds screws to help hold the weight of the bottles. Then he uses a belt sander to shape those vertical pieces. Pallet lumber is rough sawn, and that's part of the charm, but you don't want people getting splinters from your project either. So Alan is also lightly sanding the rest of the surfaces to remove the burrs. I'm ripping narrow pieces from the scraps I removed so that I can nail them under each planting tray to create a bottom.
So you can see we've got a place here for plants on the top. We'll have a place here for plants here and plants here. But the thing I started thinking about is with all of these cracks that's in this particular pallet, there's cracks here, but not quite as wide. I think I'll take some more of my little pieces here, rip them up, fill all of that in. That'll look a lot better, I think, than having all those big gaps in there.
While I'm filling in those voids, Alan is busy applying a coat of stain to his wine rack,
I'd go with the darker.
Like that?
I like that.
which is a little tricky with all the cracks and crevices he has to cover.
So it's still a little rustic looking, but after I paint it with this color and all of the greenery that we would have with the plants and then install it on a nice weathered fence, it should look pretty nice.
I'm using spray paint to avoid that same problem Alan had in getting into the nooks and crannies of the pallet. In fact, he's using a spray-on polyurethane for the final steps of sealing his wine rack. Since Chelsea's an avid gardener, we're hanging my new creation in her backyard. Now, while we get the herbs planted, check out this week's best new product with Jody.
Now, if you're working on a project where you need light and heavy-duty staples while you're doing it, and then you also might need to attach some cable staples, and then, of course, you might have some brads in there that you might be needing to drive in, chances are you'd probably have to go and get a different kind of tacker or staple gun to do all those applications. But take a look at this. This is the DeWalt 4-in-1 multi-tacker. So whether you're going to be using light duty, heavy duty, also brad, or even your cable staples, this can do it all with just this one tool. Now, you don't necessarily have to get just DeWalt because you can also use Stanley, DeWalt, or Arrow staples if you happen to have those on hand. So you can do that. Also, take a look at this little switch right here. If you have it on low, that's the perfect setting for low power when you're attaching cable wire. But if you've got to drive a brad, you can pop it up there into high power. So, if you're in the market to upgrade your stapler or you're in the market for a new one, this is a pretty good option.
We've been busy converting trash to treasure this week, and so far we've revived a tired old desk, created a cool herb garden from one discarded pallet, and built a rustic wine rack from another. Right now, Alan's busy installing his creation at the home of our coworker, Amy Hughes. Amy co-hosts the Today's Homeowner radio show with us each week, and when she's not keeping us out of trouble, she hangs out with her pet pug, Lilo, who only seems moderately impressed with Alan's project.
Next project's up to you, Amy.
All right, well, I have this idea, but I have this crazy piece of furniture that I found, and I need your opinion.
Okay, let's look at it.
All right, so here it is.
Okay.
It looks like somebody already tried to do something.
Yeah, before I say anything, did you make this?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
No, I found this at a thrift store.
Wow, I don't think I have ever seen anything.
It's a bench.
It's two chairs tied together. Did you see this?
I know.
It's tied with twine.
know.
Oh, wow.
Someone tried, but I think we could do better.
Well, what was your idea?
Okay, well, have you ever seen those chairs that are made into like a pet bed?
Okay, yeah, with the legs cut off.
Yeah,
a
they
bit,
cut off the legs and they make it in, well, you know, Lilo, she's really long and she's a little wide, so I thought the double chair would be perfect.
I think we can do that. I don't think we can use these though.
No,
for
I
a
don't
bit.
think so either. That
Okay,
will not
so
work for
you
her,
can
but
take
we
care
could
of
do some
these.
other kind of cushion and paint it and make it look cool.
Well, let's see what we can do with it then.
Okay.
The first step, deconstruction.
Oh my gosh, look at this one. Look at this. There's a safety issue.
Well, somebody didn't really know what they were doing.
Well, that's an understatement of the year. That
Well,
this
we're not all
looks
home improvement
ridiculous.
geniuses like you. Okay, I'm gonna stick a nail in and attach this to the chair.
okay.
It seems to work.
So the nails holding down the plywood were overkill, but the twine holding the chairs together is definitely minimalist. Now Alan has to figure out how to put this back together in a way that makes sense and accommodates a pug.
We just tie them together with some twine.
I mean, since Lilo is
She's got short little legs, so.
vertically challenged, yes, we want her to be able to get up into it.
Perfect, perfect.
All right.
That means marking and cutting the legs considerably shorter but still level.
Try cutting that one.
I'll try. I'm a little nervous about.
So this is.
I feel like my cut will be completely cockeyed, but we'll try. Let's give it a shot.
All right. Awesome. Bam.
That was way easier than I thought it would be. Wait, now what can we do with this?
I'm actually going to use those legs.
Are you really?
Uh-huh.
Wait, what are you going to use them for?
We're going to make a 4-poster bed out of this.
Nuh-uh.
We
Really?
got these on the back, so I'm going to put 2 in the corner out here. You like that?
That's hilarious. Okay.
Once Amy makes the same cuts on the other chair,
That was scary.
All right, so it'll be at a bit of a lean.
Hey! I warned you that I shouldn't be the one with power tools.
they can begin laying out the new design.
Oh, I love the cute
Look at
squatty
it.
little chair.
The strap-turned legs will become the
Here.
footboard post.
Perfect.
They'll use some 1x4 to make a skirt around the
All right.
bed.
All right.
So see how easy that was?
No.
You didn't see how easy that
It
was?
was scary.
Because you're about to do it.
Power tools scare me.
Your turn.
Now?
Yep. Yes.
Oh, that freaked me out. Okay. Woo! You can do the rest.
Then they'll add some spacers to keep the skirt square and attach it to the frame. The old plywood seat is being reused as the bottom for the dog bed, and once it's in place, those repurposed chair legs can be installed on the outer corners. After some putty for the nail holes and prep for the smooth surfaces, Alan and Amy's creation is ready for paint. While the paint dries, they start working on the bedding.
So I like this. So we're gonna have this cushion and then a pillowcase on top, so I can throw it in the wash when the dog messes it up, which you
You know she will.
inevitably will, because that's what
This
dogs
is
do.
really soft stuff.
Lilo, you're gonna be
I'm
so
making my own pillow
spoiled.
out of this. Let's close it up for now.
I feel like
and
it
then,
needs more.
You do?
Yeah. I don't think it'll stay poofy. Maybe it will. We'll see. Here we go.
Nice.
Oh, that's gonna be perfect. I think that'll fit well. And then when she gets her little doggy like dirt all over it, just pull it off, throw it in the washer, and we're good to go.
All right.
So once the paint is dry and the bedding is in place, Alan tries to use his doggy charm to entice Lilo onto her new throne.
Come here, oh, come here. Yeah, what do you think of the bed? I know.
Oh, you want me in it with
She's
you?
more excited about looking. Come here. Here, let me lift you. Ready?
Sarah wants to know, how can I add a little pizzazz to our boring concrete porch?
No, Sarah, you don't have to put up with that boring concrete front porch. You can have one that looks as nice as this. All this homeowner did is to clean the front porch concrete thoroughly and then applied a coat of concrete paint. There's so many different colors that you can find one that'll complement the colors of your house very easily. Another option, staining the concrete. Again, clean it well, use a stain. Has a slightly different end result, but still very, very attractive. Now, if you really want to raise the level in terms of the design of your concrete front porch or any concrete surface, you can use a circular saw with an abrasive blade and then just score it in any kind of design that you would like. A simple pattern works very, very well, and you'd be surprised how much it can change the look of the concrete.
This week we've created some cool trash to treasure conversions. Alan and Amy transformed a bizarre thrift store find into a fun and functional bed for Lilo. A pallet bound for the landfill has a new life as a conversation-starting wine rack. And that old desk collecting dust in my storage shed has a new life at Chelsea's house, as does the pallet I converted to an herb garden. Chelsea, I would have never thought taking an old wood pallet, nailing it to a wooden fence would look this good. This looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, and I'm happy to have fresh herbs in the backyard too.
Yeah, that makes it pretty convenient. Hey, this was a fun show and something that we love to do, to take things that maybe would have ended up in the landfill and turn them into something that's useful, fun, and maybe even a bit whimsical. Hey, thanks so much for being with us. I'm Danny Lipford. We'll see you next week. Okay, what's for dinner? How you go? Fastest crate builder, pallet builder in town. The best? Yeah, not so much. Thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to like, comment, and hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified of new videos.
And be sure to click around and watch some more videos while you're here.